1. The stagecoach. The coach creaked and rattled across the rough, dusty road. Mary sat stiffly, her hands clasped tight in her lap. She wasn't sure what her life would be like now that she'd agreed to marry a man she had never met. She glanced out the small window, watching miles of open prairie roll by. Her reflection looked back at her faintly in the glass. Plain brown hair, straight and practical. Eyes a little too uncertain. She was not small, nor the delicate sort men seemed to admire, but she had a kind heart. She hoped that counted for something. Across from her, an elderly couple dozed. Beside her, a cowboy stared out his own window. Sleep refused to come. Instead, her mind wandered back to the advertisement she had read only weeks ago. Wife wanted. Must be able to cook, willing to work hard, and build a life on a farm. It had been so simple, so honest. And somewhere ahead, a man named Henry waited. Mary exhaled slowly as the coach rolled on. 2 more hours and her new life would begin. Scene 2. Arrival in Harvestville. The coach lurched to a halt. Mary clutched her carpetbag and stepped down onto the packed earth street of Harvestville. Her heart thumped in her ears. The world smelled of horses and hay. Then she saw him. A man stood watching her quietly beneath the brim of his hat. He was of average height but broad-shouldered. His eyes were brown and kind. Mary's throat tightened. "Are you Henry?" she asked. "Yes. And you must be Mary?" His voice was steady, his smile small but warm. He helped her into his buckboard, drawn by 2 sleek bay horses. As he took the reins, he glanced over. "We'll stop at the edge of the town and see the preacher. If you're still of a mind to marry me," Mary's pulse quickened. "I am." Scene 3. The wedding and journey home. The ceremony was simple. The preacher's wife served as witness. When the words, "You may now kiss the bride," were spoken, Henry leaned in and kissed her cheek. Mary blushed. Moments later they were back in the wagon, the town fading behind them. The wind tugged at her bonnet. "Tell me about your farm," she asked. Henry spoke easily. Horses, cows, hogs, chickens, hay, and corn. A little tobacco for cash. Mary listened and then admitted quietly, "I don't know how to milk a cow." Henry chuckled. "That's all right. I'll teach you." The tension between them eased for the first time as the light turned golden across the land. Scene 4. The homestead. As the sun melted behind the mountains, Mary caught her first glimpse of home. The barn stood proud and weathered, the shed open and hung with drying tobacco, and the cabin small but warm. Tuck, a shaggy dog, bounded up to greet her. Inside, the cabin was tidy. A single room with a stone hearth, hand-sewn curtains, and woven rugs. Henry showed her a small bedroom he'd prepared for her. "I hope you like it," he said quietly. "It's lovely," she whispered. Up in the loft, she found bins of potatoes, squash, herbs, and smoked hams. Security settled over her heart. Hope followed. Scene 5. First meal and the new dawn. That evening they shared cold ham, bread, and beans. Conversation was nervous, but kind. After supper, Henry said softly, "I'll go put the animals to bed. 4 o'clock comes early." Mary tidied the dishes and then slipped into her small room. The bed was soft. She drifted to sleep to the sound of the wind outside. Morning came gently with the crow of the rooster. Light spilled through the curtains. Mary smiled. The fear and uncertainty were gone, replaced by a quiet sense of belonging. Scene 6. The first day on the farm. The smell of smoke and frying ham filled the cabin. Henry came in from the barn, sleeves rolled high. "Morning," he said. "Morning," she replied. He set down a bucket of milk. "After breakfast, I'll show you how to milk." She nodded. In the barn he showed her the gentle cows, patient and calm. Her first try was clumsy, but he laughed softly. "You're doing fine." By noon they gathered eggs together, checked fences and tended the animals. As the sun set, they shared supper by the fire. Henry leaned back. "You did good today." Mary smiled. "It feels right here." "You can make it your home, if you want to." "I'd like that." Scene 8. The storm. 3 days later, the wind began to whisper in warning. The sky turned grey and Henry frowned. "Storm's comin'!" They raced to bring in the animals. Rain stung their faces, thunder cracked overhead. Henry caught her hand in the downpour. "You all right?" "Yes," she shouted back. They made it inside, drenched and breathless. The wind howled outside. Henry lit the lantern. "You did good," he said. "I thought the wind would carry me off." She laughed. He handed her a blanket. They sat by the fire as the storm raged. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "What is?" "This. Being safe. Everyone deserves to feel safe," he said. By morning the world was clean and quiet. For the first time she felt the beginning of love. Scene 9. The Autumn Fair. The storm had passed, and autumn brought golden fields. Henry suggested they attend the Harvestville Fair. Mary wore her blue ribbon, and he told her she looked pretty. They wandered among games and pies, the scent of roasted corn in the air. People smiled now, no longer whispering. Henry's corn won second place, and his tobacco took first. At dusk, they shared warm cider by a bonfire. "To new starts," Henry said. "To good company," Mary replied. That night, when they returned home, Henry's hand lingered as he helped her down from the wagon. She realized her heart had already rooted here. Scene 10. The first winter frost silvered the fence posts. Henry rose early to tend the animals. Mary kept the hearth alive. They fell into rhythm. Two souls learning the same song. One morning, snow began to fall. She joined him outside, laughing as the flakes melted on her lashes. "You'll freeze," he warned. "Then we'll freeze together," she said. That night they shared stew by firelight. "You've taken to this life well," he said. "It feels like home," she whispered. He reached across the table and took her hand. The silence between them glowed warm. Scene 11. The Thaw. By March, the snow melted and the creek roared. The thaw came too fast. The pasture flooded. Henry and Mary worked together, clearing the ditch and freezing water. Back inside, soaked and shivering, she said simply, "It's our farm." He smiled. "I reckon it is." That night, as the fire burned low, Henry finally spoke what had been growing in his heart. "I thought I just needed someone to share the work. Turns out, I needed you." Mary's eyes filled with tears. "You already are the man I hoped for," she said, and under the sound of the running creek, he kissed her, not as strangers, but as partners. Scene 12. Spring work and morning laughter. Days lengthened and green returned. Together they plowed, planted, and laughed in the sun. Under the elm tree they shared lunch and quiet smiles. The life they built was not grand, but it was theirs, honest and good. Scene 13. Summer heat. The air shimmered with heat. One afternoon a thunderstorm caught them in the field. They ran for the porch, breathless and laughing, rain pouring down. Henry looked at her. "Maybe storms remind us we're not alone," she said softly. He kissed her in the rain. Scene 14. A visit to town. By July they visited Harvestville again. People greeted Mary kindly now. They sold eggs, herbs, and honey. Henry bought her a blue shawl. "It matches your ribbon," he said. She smiled. "You remembered." As they rode home, she rested her head on his shoulder. The road shimmered with late summer light. Scene 15. The harvest autumn came golden. The harvest was rich. The barn filled. They worked side by side, laughing and tired. At sunset, they sat on the porch together. "You make this place alive," Henry said. "It's our place," Mary answered. Scene 16. The Promise. As the days shortened, Mary began to feel strange. She told Henry one morning, her hands trembling slightly, "I think we might be expecting." He froze, then crossed the room and held her close. Then the Lord's blessed us twice over, he said. Tears glistened in her eyes. Are you happy? She asked. More than I ever knew a man could be. Scene 17, a new autumn. The year turned full circle. Mary sat near the fire, mending a tiny blanket. Her belly had just begun to show. Henry came in from the barn and paused, smiling softly. You've been busy, he said. It helps me dream, she replied. He knelt beside her. Whatever comes, we'll face it together. I know, she whispered. Outside, the wind moved through the trees. Inside, the fire glowed warm. Two lives, once separate, now fully joined, their story just beginning.